I'm Kim Halvorson. This is Halvorson Farms, and my husband and I produce 3.5 million pounds of turkey meat each year here on this facility. We start 12,000 poults in the brood facility, and we finish out approximately 10,800 birds out of this facility every 6 weeks. We started the farm in 1988. The flock we're going to be seeing in just a little while will be our 84th flock. So we're getting really close to 100, which I think is neat. We raise our turkeys inside rather than outside because it allows the birds to be safe. They're not accessible to predators. USDA requires certain things of us, and one of those is safety of the animal. So we accomplish that through the building. And it's interesting, our neighbor called us early in the morning and said the barn's open, but the birds are still inside. And I said, well, of course, now why would you leave your food and your water and your safe space? Why would you leave that when you know you have everything you need right here? This is the brood facility. This brood facility is 60 by 108 feet, and it houses 12,000 poults. Our poults come from Wilmer Poultry. They're brought down early in the morning, and we unload them through the end door into the barns. The birds that come in here are all toms. A tom is a male turkey, and they are hybrid. That's the type of bird. These are bitty drinkers. When we start them, the first few days, the cardboard ring will be around the stove, and then those green feeders will be in that ring. People are always surprised that I do have furnaces running in the middle of the summer. My goal, of course, is to keep the heat very even in here. Turkeys are very, very sensitive, and you don't want the temperature to be fluctuating greatly. The feed that we're feeding is a crumble mash feed. If you smell it, you can smell the molasses in it, as well as the corn and soybean. It smells very good. We start day-old birds, and from day-old birds we continue to 5 to 6 weeks of age. Just by looking at the turkeys, there's a lot I can tell. If they start lining up around the edge of the building, they're too warm. They're looking for the coolest spot possible. Also, I can tell by listening, you can hear their voices are quiet. That means that they're not only very healthy, but it also means that they're not stressed. When the turkey gets stressed, you'll get that high beep, 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 beep. And when you hear that, you know there's something wrong. We use that particular trailer as well as another one just like it to move poults. When we move poults, we actually move them in about 2.5 hours. We move all the poults out of brood into a finished building. And of course, there are about 7 people who are working at that time. There are 11,475 birds in here. I just ran the numbers this morning, so happen to know that number. And they are eating 2.8 tons of feed every day. These birds are approximately somewhere between 8, 9, 10 pounds, something like that. We run a 20-week schedule, so these birds will be in here until 20 weeks. Keeping the air clean in here is incredibly important. From one end of the barn to the other, you can see very easily. You're not seeing any dust, you're not seeing anything filtrating into the air. The air sac in a bird is very similar to saran wrap. It's very thin, and you need to keep it very clean. We aerate these barns, as you can see. It's literally a roof on stilts, so the birds are getting a ton of air. The floor in this barn is a 12-inch clay-packed floor. Clay floors work very, very well in Minnesota. It moves with the change in temperatures. By allowing the floor to move like that, it creates a 12-inch base that's not permeable, which means things can't seep through it. And what's on top is actually a wood shaving mix that you'll see. And of course, mixed in it are small pieces of turkey manure. And we'll see our storage pads and what we use that for at a later time. We happen to have a drop tube feeding system. What we found with the drop tube system is that this barn is holding 3 tons of feed as it sits right this time. So if we have an issue, we've got a little bit of time because we have some feed sitting here. The feed is, of course, a corn and soybean mix. About 75% of the cost of raising a bird is the feed. And then the watering system that we use is called a pan and grill system, so the birds can get access to water very quickly when they need water very fast in the summer when they're drinking a lot of water because it's hot. When we go through the process of cleaning the barns, of course, the first thing we do is move the birds out, obviously, and then we come in with 2 skid loaders. One of the skid loaders goes through the barn and sets their cutting edge about this deep, and they go through and take off the top. They take off the main manure cap. It's used to spread on area farm fields, and it's got nutrient values. So the nutrients are then sent into the field. Turkey manure has incredible nutrient value. It has actually 10 components in it. It has N, P, and K, nitrogen, phosphate, and potash. But it also has trace nutrients as well, and one that surprises many people is calcium. Turkey manure, especially tom turkey manure, is full of calcium because the male turkey doesn't need to use the calcium to produce eggs. So our calcium level is incredibly high, and area farmers that do use our turkey manure don't have to add lime to their fields because they're getting the calcium through the turkey manure. You have this piece of turkey manure that is very similar to a cotton ball, in that you have wood shavings and the nutrient value is encased or encapsulated in that wood shaving. What happens is, as this is put into the field and the plant is planted in the soils above it, the plant is able to go into the turkey manure with its root and take out what it needs. The turkey manure itself, the values of it do not wash away. They do not leave the soils. They stay right there, encapsulated in that cotton ball or in that piece of turkey manure. So then it stays over the winter, and the following year for the bean crop you still have nutrient value. So when you purchase turkey manure for your fields, you're not purchasing 1 year of fertilizer, you're purchasing 2. We're a family-owned business, and what that means is we take all the risk, and obviously, if there's reward, we get all of that. And I get to look at all of the area processors and decide who we choose to ship to. Every bird that goes through the plant is inspected. And as it goes through the inspection process, if the bird is rejected, it is removed from the line and it is disposed of. So we are only paid for the live wholesome pounds that are the acceptable product that have gone through the USDA inspection process. A farm is a business, and obviously our goal is to make money just like every other business. And our goal is to do it as good or if not better than the next guy so that our product is in demand. Here in the United States of America, we don't only feed our neighbors, we don't only feed the people in our local town or in our county, we're feeding the world. It's not only going out nationally, it's going out internationally. And that's our job, is to feed the world.